Okay bro, dun sa previous episode, pinag-usapan natin yung mga allegations na billion-billion yung binigay sa Davao. So yung sinasabing ginigipit sila, well, siguro, pero kumpara dun sa meron sila dati, which is super huge daw, almost $1 billion, no? 51 billion pesos. Ngayon naman, pag-usapan natin itong issue ng plunder case kasi nagtitrending si Senator Jingo Estrada na na-acquit siya dun sa plunder charges, pati si Napoles. But at the same time, there's also, I think there's still, hindi siya completely off the hook kasi andun pa rin yung issue ng
Oo,
bribe. Just trying
indirect
to,
bribery, parang ganon.
yeah, I'm trying to pull out the exact case here, no? Um,
Pero
okay.
kasama dyan yung years served, di ba? Kung ilang
Ito, ito,
taon
ito,
siya
ito.
na...
I just read it, bro. Andito yung court document, okay.
Sige.
Whereof, in light of the foregoing premises, the court finds accused Jose Jingoy P. Ejercito Estrada and Janet Lim Napoles not guilty of plunder based on reasonable doubt. I mean, talagang, panalo talagang Pilipinas. Okay. However, the court finds accused Jingo Estrada guilty beyond reasonable doubt of one count of direct bribery defined and penalized under Article 210 of the Revised Penal Code. Appreciating the mitigating circumstances of voluntary surrender, he is hereby sentenced to suffer the indeterminate penalty of imprisonment of up to 8 years of prison, as minimum to 9 years and 4 months of prison, mayor as maximum with special temporary disqualification and the accessory penalties of temporary absolute disqualification and that of perpetual special disqualification from the right of suffrage. So even the right to vote could be affected here, no? So he's also ordered to pay a fine of just around 3 million pesos. Further, accused Jose Jingo Estrada is found guilty beyond reasonable doubt of 2 counts of indirect bribery. So there's 1 direct bribery and then 2 counts of indirect bribery defined and penalized under Article 211 of the Revised Penal Code. Appreciating the mitigating circumstances, blah, 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 he's hereby sentenced to suffer the indeterminate penalty of 2 years and 4 months of prison correctional, a minimum to 3 years, 6 months, and 20 days of prison correctional as maximum for each count. He's also sentenced to suffer the penalties of suspension and public censure with the accessory penalties of suspension from public office, from the right to follow professional calling, and that of perpetual special disqualification from the right of suffrage, right? So even yung voting power niya could be potentially affected by this. Ipopost ko yan, guys. You know, let me just pull it out para makikita ng tao, para gets nila yan. So this is the court document. I-post natin dito if so you know, obviously the
Oo,
headline is
mabigat pa rin.
acquitted. Pero ito yung dun sa pinakamabigat na charge.
Pinakamabigat, which is,
Plunder.
yun, talagang life sentence yun pag na ano ka doon, ano, sa plunder. So, nakaligtas siya
Medyo,
doon.
oo. Pero dito sa direct indirect bribery, there are at least 3 charges I can see here. Medyo hindi siya naka lusot, and in fact
Oo.
hindi lang yung office position niya but yung right of suffrage niya to vote could be suspended for good, 'di ba? Si Janet Napoles naman is found guilty beyond reasonable doubt of 5 counts of corruption of public officials defined and penalized under Article 212. Yun ang sinasabi ko, yung problema sa journalism. Maglalagay ka ng headline. Kung sinabi mo lang, acquitted, then,
Acquitted.
it misses the point eh. You could have said partial victory or whatever, or mix, whatever. Hindi. Dapat binasa mo talaga itong court document na lumabas.
Oo.
So actually, they were still found guilty of something, not just the highest charge, right? But still, may corruption charge kay Janet Napoles and may direct indirect bribery naman dito. Now, chinek ko yung election result last year. Number 13 is Jejomar Binay. So if there's someone who should carefully watch this and anong mangyari ngayon, is Jejomar Binay. Having said that, a number of senators have already expressed support, not necessarily, I think, the other Estrada, but Villanueva, etc. They have expressed support for Jingo Estrada, and Mig Zubiri, the current president of the Senate, has made it clear that he believes that it is the duty of Jingoy to still stay in the Senate unless all legal means have been exhausted, meaning pwede ito umakyat pa
Trusted.
sa Supreme Court. So obviously, Jingo
So,
Estrada,
after ba sa Sandigan Bayan, Supreme Court na yung
pwede
next?
na tag-tag na to all, and this could take forever. Di ba? Yung
Oo.
Court of Appeals pa yan and all. So this could take forever.
Okay.
So that means baka mo ang safe si Jinggoy until I don't know, midterm elections or beyond. But he just won, so he still has 4 or 5 years. Now we have a case whereby si Coco Pimental ba yan yung nawalan ng position before? Di ba remember they were
Yeah.
also,
Oo.
yeah, so it's not totally out of the realm of possibility that still some shifts could happen. As I said, and if
If
there's
he
someone
gets
who's like,
disqualified ba yung number 13 angat or hindi ba
oh,
mababawasan na ng isang membro yung Senado?
alam ko dapat umakyat, di ba may replacement? Parang na-replace si ano nun, di ba? Alam ko si Coco Pimentel.
Hindi, yung kasi may question sa elections eh. Sa
Hmm.
boto eh. So, yung boto nun, mas malaki talaga yung isa. Kaya yung 13 ang pumasok, nawala yung number 12. Pero ito kasi,
Possibly
nanalo siya talaga sa
yeah,
election. Kaso he just got disqualified kasi
because
na-convict siya dun sa kaso ng bribery.
right. That's a good point to make. Kasi ang usual lang nakikita ko sa ibang bansa, like what they do is special elections, di ba? Pag nagkaroon ng opening, is special elections nila yan, and then pwede
Natin
pumasok.
parang wala na eh.
Parang wala eh. So, you're
Oh.
right. Thank you for pointing.
It remains vacant na lang.
Or I don't know, maybe there'll be new jurisprudential position on that. Let's see what's happening. Kasi you're right. Kasi 'di ba nakulong din sila pa noon ni tatlo sila, 'di ba?
Ibong.
Hindi sila na-replace, 'di ba? Last time I
Hmm.
checked. You're right. Ako kasi I had the Coco Pimentel case in mind, but you're right. That's a different case. That's about the election.
Different eh. Kasi sa elections
itself,
yun eh.
Oh, ito. But let's see. I don't know. But this is an interesting situation we're looking at developing and all. But ako, bro, I mean, anong tingin mo ang kalagayan natin pagdating sa fighting against corruption? Kasi obviously itong corruption na yan, it keeps on coming up sa public discourse natin. Nakita natin yung inis ng tao sa confidential fund and then yung allegations na laking funds sa Davao, so on and so forth. But at the same time, at taas pa rin ang approval ratings ng mga Duterte.
Kaya nga eh.
Ang daming issues sa mga Marcoses, nananalo pa rin sila, hindi pa rin. So, parang ang gulo ng bansa natin, no? Ano ba talaga kung
I sometimes joke about it kasi meron akong linya parati diyan. I'm kind of cynical talaga. We have a culture na parang medyo okay yung sa Pinoy yung kurakot basta tumutulong eh. And
basta
that's something that we change.
At baka basta nakabenepisyo ka rin.
Ayun, ito yung parati kong linya to. Ito yung linya. Marami sa Pinoy galit lang sa korupsyon kapag hindi sila kasama. Yun ang parati kong linyahan.
Yung ensamada.
It's parang parang joke siya pero may katotohanan eh. Nakakalungkot eh. Nakakalungkot na ganun yung kultura. The change has to come from the top up eh. From the top down eh. Kailangan yung leader talaga na will have the political will to stand up against everyone na kumikita eh. Kasi ang daming kumikita eh. All the way sa batang level. Minsan SK pa lang, ang bata-bata natututo ng mangurakot, di ba? Sa all the way down sa barangay level, all the way
highest. Kurakot ka na.
Lahat kumikita eh.
Grabe, di ba? Oh.
Lahat kumikita. That's why ang laki ng I pin so much hope doon sa nangyayari in places like Pasig. Kasi doon nakikita ko na pwede pala na papasok mababago yung kultura na everybody happy, everybody yung mga corruption and yung sa bidding, yung mga kumaga naaayos. Ang nangyayari, ang dami nagrereklamo. Kasi dati kumikita ako na wala yung kita ko.
Yun din pa, pag inayos naman yung system, kailangan magbayad ng
inayos naman yung system, ang dami naman tinatamaan.
Exactly, you're right, you're saying. Yeah, talagang, ang hirap talaga baguhin eh. Pag, yun nga, actually sa ibang bansa may terminology na efficient corruption. Yung may corruption pero ginagawa yung kalsada, ginagawa yung industriya. China, ganyan. Sa Malaysia, yung mga kapitbahay natin, napakakurakot din. Vietnam ngayon, napakakurakot. But, well, just to give an example, na-suspend po yung dati nilang presidente just last year dahil sa corruption. So I'm just telling you how serious things are. Even Singapore, one minister
was diba?
recently suspended.
Transport minister ba yun?
Exactly. So it's not like walang corruption sa mga bansa. Pero kasi nagde-deliver sila eh. May corruption, may kickback. Pero ginagawa yung maayos na kalsada. Ang problema sa atin, kahit yan, wala. Tapos siguro yung pera pumunta, I don't know, doing mumbo jumbo or Swiss account or I don't know, yung mga nag-Pegasus siguro yung iba. You know what I'm saying, di ba? Yun ang problema ko eh sa corruption natin. It's not only morally bad, it's economically also very inefficient and destructive sa ating bansa. But you're right, and dun yung patronage politics. Have you experienced
impunity din eh, nung mga nakaupo eh.
But bro, you're also right, the sociology of it, di ba? Marami kang na-meet siguro na tao na siguro staff lang or kamag-anak lang. Tapos nagyayabang sila na, tama, yung mga nagko-comment dito sa uy, maraming nauwi si Titong ganyan or si Gobernador, malaking, meron na kami lahat Lexus. Di ba? Alam mo yung gano'n? Yung marami akong nakita, nagyayabang pa nga sila na may ginagawa silang
Nagyayabang pa
kalokohan.
eh.
That shows
It's
smart sila.
accepted eh.
It's smart,
Walang
parang,
moral ano eh. Walang moral ano against
moral
corruption
compass.
sa atin eh.
Oh.
Napaka ano eh, tapos kasi pag sa social media naman, ang awayan lang is yung ano mo corrupt pero lahat ng mga kakampi ko hindi corrupt. So may ganun din na parang nagtatakipan din minsan. So ang hirap eh, ang hirap ah yun nga, balik dun sa sinabi natin kanina electoral reform and justice system eh. Kasi hanggat walang napaparusahan, hanggat walang 'di ba sa vote buying, hanggat walang nakukulong, it will continue to ano eh, to go on na ganun eh.
But it
So
should
it
also
needs
come from
talaga
us, di
change
ba,
from the
bro?
top up talaga.
But bro, it should also come from us, right? Like, I mean, yung tayo, mga ordinaryong tao, yung mga political bloggers, raising issues about it. Kasi tingnan mo yung mga ibang bansa, pag nagkakaroon sila ng mga reforms, usually dahil may movement, may protests, may mga anti-corruption bloggers, you know what I'm saying? I think yung pinakasikat sa mundo ay si Navalny sa Russia, pinuking-buking niya yung corruption ng Putin regime. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, feeling ko, you're right. It should come from top, but the ones on the top should be also pressured to do their job right. Otherwise, wala rin silang insentibo kasi nakakatakot eh. Nakakatakot maging malinis kasi ang daming babang. You were just talking about the case of Mayor Vico. But Mayor Vico is still not the president, right? And Mayor Vico may be an exceptional case. Now, how many of him?
Exception kasi
Yun nga, and sana hindi
anak siya ni
exceptional.
Bossing Vic, pamangkin siya
Sana
ni
hindi
Tito Sen.
exceptional. Exactly. Yun yung worry ko na sana hindi once in a blue moon. Gusto sana natin na more of that. Hindi naman 10 out of 10, pero sana 3 out of 10 medyo malinis na katulad ni Vic Soto or 5 out of 10 hopefully, di ba? Just para lang may pag-asang bansa natin na umangat-angat. Kasi grabe, minsan yung mga corruption, nagtatapon na lang daw ng pera yung mga iba dun ng mga trapo eh. Like lechon every night, 3, 4, ganoon. Tapos habang nagugutom, namamatay ang tao sa gutom sa ating bansa. Sobrang grabe eh. Talagang binaboy talaga yung bansa natin, di ba? So, I mean, understandable, there'll be always leakages here and there. So, hindi ako utopian. Pero, medyo ano naman, curb your greed, di ba? Yun nga eh, walang
So,
curbing of the greed. Talaga next level na
family
grabe.
business eh. I think yun yung nag-evolve yung ating politika to something sort of a family business na ah hindi na wala nang alisan sa pwesto eh kasi kumbaga na perfect na nila lahat eh kung saan kukunin yung boto nila
Yeah.
kung how much yung kailangang ipondo just to remain in power tapos they would stay in power 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades same place walang alisan 'di ba so
Yeah.
walang ano eh may impunity eh may level of impunity doon sa mga nakaupo natin ng mga ng mga leaders na family business na kasi anak, apo, 'di ba? Minsan fourth generation na
Yeah,
umaabot
exactly.
na.
Yun nga, ang tagal-tagal. Bro, having said that, siguro we can end on this note. Baka mahanap ka ng mga kalaban natin dyan. Nagdadrive ka. Umalis ka na dyan. Baka matrack ka nila. No, I mean, masasabi ba natin na demokrasya talaga tayo? I mean, yes, sige. Ako, ikaw, siguro may konti tayong freedom of expression, may konting ganon. So, thankfully, hindi tayo China, yung mga ganyang bansa. Pero at the
Oh.
same time, paano mo masabi na demokrasya?
Kasi
Kanina nakita
ako
akong map
naman, ako.
eh. Di ba?
Oh.
Tell me your story. How do you see it?
Ako, I could say yes. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi nakakapili naman tayo ng maluwag kung sino yung magnanakaw sa atin.
Parang choose your
Kumbaga,
poison.
tayo naman ang
Pick your
bumoboto eh. We
poison.
could we could vote freely naman eh. Kung sino yung gusto nating mayor, sino yung gusto nating governor, sino yung sa ating congressman. Kaya nga minsan sinasabi ko, 'di ba? Kunyari may kalaban ito, matagal nang nakaupo. O yan para iba naman yung iba naman yung kumikita. Kasi masyado na sila malaki kumita, iba naman nakikita. para para to spread the wealth naman, iba naman, ibang ano naman. Pero yun nga we joke about it pero malalim talaga eh. Ako, sinasabi kong diretso pero I'm not going to name names. Hindi ako magpapangalan ng 'di ba? Kasi yun may takot parate. And it goes back dun sa justice system nga natin na merong level of impunity itong mga nakaupo na I can't even name kahit alam ko si ganito kurakot hindi ko masabi. Kahit alam ko si 'di ba? So hindi mahaharas ka maano ka eh. So napakalayo pa natin pero optimistic ako kaya that's why we need to support leaders na hindi pa nakakain ng sistema. 'di ba? Na
Or,
meron
or,
pa ring
or
level of
nandun lang yung
idealism
paa
sa
nila,
politiko.
pwede mo pa ilabas. Parang yung ulo nila, parang nandito sila sa
Oo, oo.
sistema. Pero pwede mo pa sila ilabas. Parang gano'n. Kasi mahirap
Totoo.
makahanap
Yun
ng
nga yung sinasabi
Soto.
mo na
Pero, yeah.
efficient, ano yun, efficient corruption. At least mababa man lang sa
Ay,
level
so,
ng ganon.
maging efficient man lang for us, ha? Kasi yung pinaka nakakainis, bro, di ba, yung maganda na ngayong kalsada, ulit-ulitin nila every before
Oh,
elections, sisirain pa nila, lalong pumangit pa yung
sirain.
kalsada. Yun yung
Flood control.
pinaka-worst. Oh, exactly yung mga ganun, bro. Yeah, grabe din. Inis talaga yung
Ito
mga
Richard, totoo ba tong nababasa ko na parang before the time of former President Marcos Sr., merong corruption naman pero ano lang, SOP lang, 10% dito, ganitong sa project. Tapos during that time, yung 20 years na yon, doon yung ibang level, mayroong mga cronies and nag-ibang level yung ano eh. Tapos after that, hindi na tayo nakabalik doon sa konting patong-patong lang na talagang elaborate schemes kung paano yumaman, kung paano na tapos walang na pupunta into justice, walang na kukulong or ano. So
ang term
was that
yata
the
dyan, bro,
point
is
ba?
ano federalized corruption, democratic corruption bago sila Marcos. Lahat napakakurakot. Actually, yung term na ginamit ng mga the 3 Gs, guns, goons, and gold. Yun yung nagdetermine ng elections. That's the environment within which Marcos rose to power. So, hindi totoo yung
Okay.
sinasabi ng mga dilawan na iba na maganda lahat, paradise tayo, and then Marcos came in. Actually, marami na tayong problema ng time na yun. Except, biglang nagkaroon ng super caudillo na parang i-centralize natin dito sa taas. Wag mo na kayo magano. Tapos yung mga hindi sumunod, napunta sa preso. Yung mga ambisyoso, pinatay or nilagay sa preso. So, it's not true na hindi malala rin corruption actually before Marcos, but the thing is hindi siya ganun ka-concentrated and systematic in yung level na yan. But it was more dispersed and democratized. In fact, yun ang nangyari sa Indonesia. Meron silang dictator, si Suharto. Nung nawala, baby Suharto ang lumalabas. Now, thankfully, hindi baby Marcoses pang lumalabas, but potentially dumadami ang mga baby Dutertes around the country. Diba? Yun ang pwede mangyari. But in the meantime, doon naman tayo kay baby M. Let's just hope that baby M will push us in the right direction kasi at least in a certain sense, things have improved. But at the same time, we cannot turn a blind eye to some of the concerns to our democracy. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Mark Gamboa, live joining us from EDSA. Thank you very much, sir, for update doon sa kalagayan ng traffic today. All right, keep safe. God bless and talk to you soon, bro.
Bye.
Adios.